This is how much lube Quagmire would use for one person.
I'm ready.
And this is how much lube he'd go through for 4 people.
There, you guys.
Your average bedroom session would require about 1 tablespoon or 15 milliliters of lube for a smooth experience. Don't ask me how I know that. And Quagmire here knows his way around proper lubrication, so today we're going to measure how much fluid he has used, from a jumbo-sized bottle of lubricant to multiple crates of lube to several oil drums, really. And we're gonna start with Quagmire's rodent problem. By rodent problem, I mean his disturbing desire to shove them down his pants. Well, to be more precise, it's shoving them up it. You know what? Just here.
What does Xerxes eat?
Rodents.
What the hell?
Hey, what do you got? You got a rodent situation?
Get him off, Peter! Peter!
Admit it!
Oh, you scared him out the front.
The amount of lubricant needed to fit furry little Tony up a human bunghole is frankly hilarious. You're gonna have to cover that thing, double coat it too, estimate around 150 milliliters. What are we doing here? I mean, better get used to it, because this list is gonna get weird, man. Because that isn't the only time he's done it. In the episode Switch the Flip, Stewie invents a machine that ends up switching the bodies of everyone in town, Quagmire included. Now what do we find this pervert doing?
Don't do it. No, you've perverted something beautiful.
I don't care if it was a rodent in Quagmire's body, both of them were getting lubed up. So that's another 150 milliliters added to the count, making it 300. That's the size of one of those large-sized lube bottles I've never seen before. Moving on from the animals, Quagmire isn't the kind of guy to sleep with you and make you breakfast the next day. Hell, he'd prefer you were gone the moment he rolled over. Just listen to what he considers a scary campsite story.
And when he woke up in the morning, she was still in his bed. That's it? Yeah. I got a meeting at 12:30, and she said, I'll drive you there. It's at my office. It's like a half-hour commute, and she said, I don't mind. It's on the way to my kid's preschool.
Now, that being said, there are a few people he slept with more than once, on purpose too. One of those people is Loretta, Cleveland's ex-wife. It all started with some less than harmless flirting.
Caught a fish. Oh, sorry about that, Loretta.
You're gonna have to reach into the cookie jar.
You're my best friend's wife. Reach in there. All right.
Hey, Quagmire.
Well, we'll have to do this again sometime.
Yeah, Quagmire's not gonna turn down an invitation, married to his best friend or not. He's diving right in there. Bringing lube, probably.
What was that?
Shut up and put some more of that sugar in my bowl.
Yeah, some best friend he is. Although in a roundabout, kind of terrible way, it turns out Quagmire did him a favor. See, Loretta kind of sucks. In a bad way. And when Cleveland confronts her about the cheating, she just rubs it in.
I'm a woman, Cleveland. I need some passion in my life.
I don't always come home with that nice mentality.
You are pathetic. Goodbye, Cleveland.
I love you.
But fear not, Cleveland gets some self-worth towards the end of the episode, dang near kills Quagmire with a bat and tells his awful wife a piece of his mind.
What you did was unforgivable.
I am through being your wife.
I deserve better than you.
Look at that, Lois.
Oh, but dear viewer, that is not the end of the story. This isn't the last time we see Loretta. A few seasons later, in the episode Love Black Chalet, Cleveland gets a very unexpected visit right when he'd gotten a girlfriend he was about to elope.
What are you doing here?
I want us to be together again as a family, and I'll never betray you again.
I'm no meteorologist, but I'm pretty sure it's raining.
This turns out to be a bit of a curveball, and Cleveland isn't exactly sure what he's gonna do. His friends, though, they're not about to let him ruin his life all over again, so Peter comes up with a dastardly plan.
Quagmire, busy right now?
I got a hand free. What's up?
Would you mind getting Loretta to sleep with you again?
In what context?
We're trying to make Cleveland see that she's no good and that he can't trust her.
Oh, okay. All right. No. I'm with you now. Yeah.
Terrific. Thank you.
I know why he only has one free hand. We're just gonna add 15 milliliters. Quagmire obviously goes ahead with the plan. I don't think he needed a reason anyway, but here we are.
Room service, club sandwich, and a side of hot beef steak. Time for round 2.
You ruined my marriage.
Apache, Nate, Chuck.
Swing and a miss. But it turns out Quagmire didn't have to embarrass himself in the first place. Cleveland has a fiance now. He knows the right choice to make.
Can't take you back.
Why not?
I came over here wanting to believe that there was still a chance for us. On the way, I passed a lakes and had some black guy thinking time. What you and I, you can go ahead and put your clothes back on, was a wonderful thing. Our time is over. I love somebody else.
Powerful words, Cleveland. Now you head on back to that fiance of yours and have yourself a happily ever after.
Curling?
Cleveland, close the window. You're letting the stank out.
Yeah, Cleveland should have just killed him with that baseball bat when he had the chance. In all seriousness, though, I keep asking, how are these two still friends? But guess what? The Loretta saga don't end there. Told you Quagmire slept with her multiple times. The thing is, though, the last time wasn't very consensual. Here's what happened. After Cleveland moved to Virginia to start the Cleveland show, Loretta moved into his old house. Big mistake, especially when Peter Griffin's your neighbor.
Oh, God. Wait, what's that? Oh, look at her gross boobs.
Yep, Peter kills her. And no, this wasn't before Quagmire had sex with her a second time. You picking up what I'm putting down? If you aren't, then maybe this scene will clear it up for you. This is what happened after Quagmire transported Loretta's body to Virginia.
Why is she wearing a French maid's costume?
Because I want to nail a dead French maid. Giggity, giggity.
Missed you, Glenn.
I hate to even have to say this, but a dead body is going to require a lot of lubrication. About 2 times the amount, I reckon. So let's move on from that one, shall we? This time to someone not just alive, but he was in a relationship with. Quagmire tried to keep it a secret too, but his nosy friends wouldn't let him.
Hey, what the hell are you doing?
Quagmire and the librarian?
Turns out the Quagmire really likes her, and with the cat out of the bag, he introduces Ellie to his new friends. Oh, her name's Ellie, by the way. Full name, Ellie Hitler. Wild name for a librarian, right? Well, it turns out Ellie's quite the menace. Just look at what Quagmire finds, and he's about to make their relationship official.
Thanks for bringing Elle the other night. She's really something.
This weekend, I'm asking her to make our relationship official.
Just ask her now when she gets done kissing that other guy.
What? Elf?
Oh, Glenn. Hi.
Oh, that's rough. But after sleeping with people's wives and girlfriends, I gotta say, this is more than a little bit deserved. And Ellie isn't even done ripping Quagmire apart.
I'm sorry to have to tell you like this, but the problem is in bed. You've never given me an orgasm.
We have a man ripped to pieces.
Okay, now that is rough. Quagmire gets all sad about it, and everyone's laughing at him, dang near ruins his life. But just as he's about to give up, his friends give him a pep talk, and he heads back to Ellie to prove himself.
I don't know, Glenn. Sure you can handle me?
All right, let's load him in.
What happened?
Some induced aneurysm. Slept with someone out of his league.
Poor guy. Or maybe incredibly lucky guy, you decide. It's a shame things didn't work out with Ellie, and so she must join the list of Quagmire's failed relationships. Although she is far from the worst woman Quagmire ever dated. No, that award belongs to Sonia. How did he meet the worst thing to ever happen to him? Well, it was like something out of a fairy tale, really. He bought a new laptop, immediately clogged it with viruses from the sketchiest of websites imaginable, and she was just the person to help out with that.
Know how to fix pieces of junk?
I see what your problem is.
I think I got a virus.
The is not the problem. That site has a bunch of malware. I'd recommend college Latinas.
Yeah, you don't wreck your computer with that much malware by slapping your hog once or twice. I'm gonna multiply that 15 milliliters of lube by 10, and that's me being conservative. Sensing that they are clearly kindred spirits, Quagmire asks her out on a date, and it goes very well, although the night ends with them being assaulted.
We kind of had a crazy night.
Did we?
Even though you seemed like a sure thing, I really wanted to make sure.
You roofied me? I'm in love.
And add that to the count, but geez, she might be worse than Quagmire. Nah, I'm just kidding. She's actually way worse than Quagmire, but don't worry, I'm gonna get there. For now, they do all sorts of freaky stuff together.
Covered ourselves in black ink. Do it until we've created every character in the Chinese alphabet.
Quagmire body tells story of sadness.
Ink doesn't count as a lubricant. At least I hope nobody's using it like that. So that's 15 milliliters more to the count. Hey, you know what? Chinese calligraphy is actually pretty cool. Good thing they only did fun, cool things, right?
What twisted, deviant act you've thought of this time.
Have sex with your father.
Are you crazy? No!
Did you enjoy your stay at the Marriott?
No, I did not.
That never fails to disgust me. The perverted couple continue their escapades until she kidnaps Quagmire and dang near kills the guy. Luckily, his friends show up just in time to save the day. I'm just gonna put this out here right now. Not every encounter I'll count will be shown on screen or referenced. If this is implied, we're still gonna count it. Like Joan, for example, the woman Quagmire dated and married, which means he'll definitely get to roll in those sheets quite a few times with her. But let me not get ahead of myself here. Who even is Joan? Well, in the episode I Take the Quagmire, Peter wins a mate on a game show and then proceeds to treat her just terribly.
This is unbelievably humiliating.
And the car's low on gas.
Are maids usually able to carry giant obese men like Peter, or is Joan just built different? Of course, carrying his lard ass around isn't the only way he gets to torture her. Oh, and of course, he's got to find a way to rope in Meg as well.
Okay, you'll hang on to that?
Sure.
Yes. I hate you! Oh, maid! This is Joan.
Quagmire is immediately smitten and asks her out, and she agrees to. Probably because she doesn't know how utterly repulsive Quagmire is, but hey, it's her funeral. If you'll excuse the foreshadowing. We don't see much of their love life, so we'll have to use context clues to figure out how much lubrication Quagmire has needed, because we all need to know this information. Like with this scene, for example.
Wow, it's so lovely here, Glenn.
I wanted this date to be special. This place is unique because if you're lucky, some nights around sunset, screaming black dolphins come out.
What's going on, man? Almost drowned yesterday. Man, it's wet out here.
Look at them.
They've been dating for 3 weeks so far, and you know they weren't saving anything for marriage. They probably hooked up at a minimum twice every weekend, so that's like 18 encounters or 270 milliliters of lube. Speaking of marriage, Quagmire decides to pop the question, and Joan says yes. They get married, and it's all sunshine and rainbows until Peter decides to remind Quagmire what he's missing out on as a married man.
Champagne! Lois, you're all wet.
God, I've made a terrible mistake.
It's not even their honeymoon yet, and Quagmire's already thinking of ending his marriage. Anyway, he asks the guys for help in ending his marriage, and they tell him to do what he always does.
Hey, you've gotten out of commitments before.
That was great. You said we were gonna get married.
I feel like I haven't called Quagmire a terrible person enough times in this video. He decides to just up and end the marriage, and well, Joan don't take it that well.
Get a divorce.
What? I'd cut you.
I love you too, insane woman.
Now put yourself in Quagmire's shoes for a minute. Your wife's a wee bit crazy, and if you divorce her, there might be dire consequences. What do you do? Was your answer faking your own death? No. Well, that's what Glenn Quagmire decided to do anyway, and he did it spectacularly.
It's something you should see. Quagmire walking through the park. A ninja shows up! Then a he came! Quagmire's dead! We are so sorry for your loss.
Obviously, she doesn't fall for that because she's not so they switch to Plan B.
Plan B, Quagmire.
Heart attack!
He's dead.
Sweetheart, are you sure?
When people die, they void their bowels. When people die, they void their bowels. What a jackass!
Now, before you call Joan an idiot for believing it this time, just know that they went all the way with this fake death, organizing a whole funeral and everything. What exactly was Quagmire's plan here? Fake his own death and skip town? Give up his house? His job? His whole life? Well, whatever his plan was, here comes Mayor West to throw a wrench in it.
Whoa, 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 what the hell are you doing?
Mayor West is afraid of zombies. You'll thank me.
Quagmire's not really dead. Zombie!
Joan isn't even mad. She's just happy her husband ain't dead. That doesn't last very long, though, because the Grim Reaper's here, and he's not gonna leave without a body.
Still need a body to take back with me.
You can't take him.
This is probably not cool, just throwing it out there. She was suicidal, and her last name was Quagmire.
Well, good enough for me.
Yeah, this is the foreshadowing I mentioned earlier. Unwittingly giving up her life so this slimeball could live another day. Honestly, Slimeball's putting it mildly, because this is what he does to honor her sacrifice.
Good to have you back, Quagmire.
It's good to be back, Peter. Can you leave that body here for another 5 minutes?
That's Quagmire!
I don't doubt Quagmire got his 5 minutes, meaning just like with Loretta, this is gonna be another 30 milliliters of lube for doing it with a corpse. That, unfortunately, takes us to another woman who faced a fate pretty similar to Joan's. In the episode, And Then There Were Fewer, pretty much every important character in Quahog gets roped into a murder mystery, and it all started with an exquisite dinner party. Of course, you can't go to a dinner party without a date.
Didn't think I'd see anyone I knew here. This is Stephanie.
I never thought I'd meet Glenn's friends.
You and I see each other from time to time.
You disappear for a month and then you call me? You're lucky I like you so much.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and take the bags in?
Clearly, Quagmire isn't Stephanie's biggest fan. Well, that's not really a big deal for him, because Steph here doesn't stick around for very long.
It all depends on what his astrological sign is.
Shut up. Shut up.
I can get a reading on his energy.
That's enough, Stephanie.
Star chart? Did the cork hit me?
Stephanie's death kicks off the whole murder mystery, and it's a good one too. Lots of twists and turns, but that's not what we're here for now, is it? Nope, we're here for Quagmire's debauchery. I sure do wonder what happened to Stephanie's body at the end of the episode.
Damn it.
I don't get paid enough. But you know what? While we're here, I might as well just mention another time he had with a corpse.
Let us forever remember this beautiful young woman, yet as unspoiled as when she was born.
I did tell you this list was gonna get weird. No, let's move on to the time where Quagmire gave Peter a good lubricating. Yes, that did happen, and it was in the episode The Giggity Wife. So how did this episode start? I know you're on the edge of your seat here. Some good old-fashioned binge drinking. Boys turn a visit to Harvard into a night of getting shit-faced and goofing around. By the time morning rolls around, they're all hungover on Peter's lawn, definitely regretting last night's decisions. But what's this? It seems their trio has become a 4-0. They picked up a prostitute.
Who the hell are you? Oh, no.
As of last night, we're man and wife. I need you to call my pimp and tell him I quit.
I married a hooker?
Obviously, he did more than just marry this fine woman, so I'm adding 15 more to the count. To his credit, Quagmire actually does try to make the best out of a bad situation. He attempts to class her up by buying her new clothes, and we get a montage set to the hit song Uptown Girl. But alas, there's a famous saying about putting lipstick on a pig.
I would like to pawn all these clothes for money.
That didn't work. Quagmire just kind of gives up after that, and he, absolute shocker here, stops having but here's the thing. Charmise doesn't dig his whole celibacy thing.
You know, Charmise, I don't really think I'm in the mood.
We haven't done it since that first night.
I'm just not feeling it.
What the hell's your problem? Gay or something? You some kind of mo?
Charmise wants a real, proper marriage, complete with true love and plenty of doing it. That's not gonna work if her husband ain't straight. So Quagmire comes up with a genius idea.
Well, Charmise, I have something to tell you. I'm gay.
I was gonna be a perfect little wife.
If I just weren't so super-duper double gay.
It actually works, and he gets Charmise to pack up her stuff and leave. He's finally free! And since it's been a couple of weeks, Quagmire decides to give himself a celebratory tug.
I should weigh myself before and after.
I forgot my prescription mouthwash. That's straight You lied to me.
Trying to make myself throw up.
Yeah, he's cooked. But there's one tiny ray of hope. Charmise is willing to believe he really is gay if he can prove it. How's he gonna do that? Have sex with a man, of course, and she's gonna watch. Quagmire is desperate here, so he asks his best buddy for a frackin' huge favor.
Charmise won't give me a divorce because she doesn't believe I'm gay. I need you to have with me while she watches.
I have some demands. Nobody can ever know.
Right there with you on that one.
No kissing on the mouth. I changed my mind. There will be kissing on the mouth. Yes, if perchance it is beautiful, I reserve the right to cry.
Can't imagine any scenario where this is gonna be beautiful.
I feel like it would have been easier if he just found some random gay guy to hook up with. He sure as hell wouldn't need to deal with this level of whining and dining.
There's a whole man around it. You have to please. You don't seem very present tonight.
I have to bang you in 20 minutes. What the is going on with my life?
They head back to Quagmire's place and the fun can begin. Okay, fun's probably not the word here because I don't think anybody in that bedroom is gonna have a good time. Just look at this mess.
I crave your groin.
I cannot wait.
Kiss each other.
Oh yeah, that was so hot.
Take off each other's clothes.
I've had to watch that several times now, so you must suffer with me. All right, let's just get to the lubrication part now. A sentence I never thought I would say in my life. Charmise isn't gonna let them leave until she's satisfied.
It's very close, Peter. About to touch the canvas.
Ian McKellen does this. You can do this. You do it!
Wait! Stop.
You know, Quagmire had to slather Peter up real good for that one, so I'm doubling the dose. Unfortunately, Charmise stopped him before we got to the good part. I mean, Peter'd certainly agree with me.
I've been at full sail for the last half hour.
Maybe we shouldn't be married after all.
She finally gets the hint, decides to end this terrible, terrible marriage. But would you believe me if I said that this wasn't the first time Quagmire has found himself in a compromising position with one of his buddies? The other time was in the episode Halloween on Spooner Street. Turns out the boys love to prank each other every Halloween, but some of these pranks get a tad bit out of hand. Like, who would even consider something like this as a prank?
Gotcha! Hepatitis C!
I'm a carrier.
Meningitis!
Joke's on you, I already got it.
I don't know, Joe, that's it. We're out of known diseases.
Now, you tell me which one's more messed up. Injecting him with every known disease or doing this to Quagmire?
That was terrific, Jessica.
It was good for me, too.
Got you again, Quagmire. I lied.
You jerk!
Happy Halloween!
I just have so many questions, man. So many questions, but I don't want this video demonetized, so I'm just gonna move on to the time Quagmire had Joe's wife. I'm getting a mad sense of deja vu suddenly. Well, this happened in the episode April and Quahog. The news was running a prank about the world ending. Quagmire, as we've established, tries to make the best out of a bad situation, so he decided to give his buddy Joe a visit.
No, you gotta help me. You gotta help me get laid.
What are you talking about, Quagmire?
I've never had
What do you mean? You've had a million times.
Just talk big for the fellas. I don't want to die a virgin. Let me have with Bonnie.
I guess so. On our last day on Earth.
Joe is simply too pure for this world. And Bonnie, well, she don't really mind. She cheats on Joe like all the time. Honestly, I don't even think Joe minds. Just look at this reaction.
That was your first time.
Oh, I've had sex lots of times. Screw you.
Who else but Quagmire?
Who else but Quagmire, indeed. All right, so he's had his friends' wives, but how many times has he had sex with himself. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, we've gotten to the gooning portion of the video. We don't really see Quagmire jerk it that many times in the show, but we do see the consequences of the jerkin, like in the episode Screams of Silence, the story of Brenda Q. Bit of a mouthful, that one. Well, that episode kicks off with Quagmire nearly committing death by gooning, or as I like to call it, goonicide.
Holy crap! He must have autoerotically asphyxiated himself
While he was watching clown. Oh, yeah, baby, you make me so.
Obviously, you can't without some lube unless you're some kind of fracking psychopath, meaning Quagmire definitely used some right before nearly killing himself. Peter and Joe get him down. They're about to head off to the hospital, but first...
Let's just watch the end of this clown first.
I refuse to comment on that. Instead, we'll just talk about the time Quagmire really embraced the degenerate lifestyle and became a full-time gooner. Don't worry, that's the last time I'm going to use that word in this video, probably. In the episode Family Guy, we find out that Quagmire, the freak himself, don't really know that internet porn exists.
Quagmire, I would think you of all people would know about internet porn.
Literally millions of naked pictures on the internet.
You guys are messing with me. I don't use the damn internet. I thought that was for nerds. Why didn't you guys tell me?
Obviously, he immediately runs off to jerk it to his heart's content. The results are staggering.
Why did you Quagmire? Nobody's seen you in days.
I've just been checking out some of that internet porn. Yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna go and check my mail over there.
You been lifting weights?
No, I don't think I'm sorry, Peter. I gotta get back.
Brain is so cooked that he can barely make a cohesive sentence. So how much lube did he use? Getting an arm like that should typically take a really long time, but Peter said he's been gone for days, so we're just gonna call those newbie gains and assume Quagmire has insane genetics. Takes about 3 weeks for newbie gains to show up, so that's 3 weeks of back-to-back extra long stroke sessions, at least twice a day, using 30 milliliters per session to account for the drying effect. We're looking at about 1,260 milliliters. That's almost impressive. But next, we move on to the opposite of jerking it all by yourself, having with multiple people at the same time. I hope you aren't too surprised that Glenn Quagmire likes to have with multiple people at once. This is the guy who tried to have a threesome with his own mother.
Glenn, would you feed Mittens?
Mittens has food in his bowl. Mittens, shut up. Mittens, shut up.
Don't you talk to Mittens that way.
Mom, you want this three-way to happen, you're gonna have to change your tone.
Most of Quagmire's group projects aren't really shown on screen, thankfully. It's typically him talking about it, even when it is something incredibly illegal.
I gotta talk to you. Last night I had with a teenage blonde and her mother.
Quite a story, but my church doesn't have confession.
Are you kidding? I'm telling everybody. Giggity goo ga.
Probably shouldn't go around telling people that, but clearly it don't matter. This man is straight up immune to prison. Although my favorite reference to his group's time is from the episode Business Guy. In it, Peter takes over Peter Schmidt Industries from Lois's father. He immediately runs it into the ground, but before that, he hires his friends to work for him, of course including Quagmire.
All right, Glenn, time to go make millions. What happened to you, man? What happened to the free-loving Quagmire who was banging 10 chicks at a time? I still do that. Can I have some money? Oh, get out of here, you bum. Yeah, all right.
Banging 10 chicks at a time. Now that's quite the feat. Not only did he used to do that, he still does it, which means he's had a 10-way at least twice in his life. Using 15 milliliters of lube for each woman means he used 150 milliliters twice. That's 300 right there. That bedroom must have been like a frackin' slip and slide when he was done. Now we can talk about the groups we actually see Quagmire participate in, like in the episode Valentine's Day in Quahog. This one starts off with Quagmire being the caring gentleman he's always been to women.
You're still here?
After a wonderful night, I thought we could get some breakfast.
See, you're supposed to be already gone. There's no breakfast. You got an icicle forming down there.
If you thought that was going to be a clip of Quagmire being nice, you clearly haven't watched enough of these videos. But he did have the night before, so I'm adding it to the count. Now that Quagmire has reminded us what kind of he is, it's time for karmic retribution.
After electric tampon warmer.
Everyone sees Quagmire as a woman, so we get to see the rare but apparently very real dirtbag side of Joe Swanson.
Hold it together, Quagmire. Son of a bitch. Oh, hey, Joe.
You know why I pulled you over? You were going too in a 35 zone. I'll need to see your driver's license.
It hasn't even been a second into the stop and he's already being a creep. It can only go downhill from here.
Well, how would you like to spend 4 hours desperately trying to give me a muscular soldier?
Just know he kept his body cam off for that part. Eventually, Quagmire figures out what's going on and immediately learns his lesson. Always treat women right. Yeah, who am I kidding? This is Glenn Quagmire we're talking about. He just finds a different way to manipulate women.
Men are jerks. Let's swear off of them and find comfort in each other. Ugh.
Just like with the 10-way, I'm counting 15 milliliters per woman. Speaking of, sometimes I wonder just how he gets these women in the first place, especially on such short notice. Well, if your guess was Tinder, well, you're wrong. Quagmire doesn't use dating apps, except for in the episode, The Dating Game. Don't look so surprised. The guy just learned about internet porn like fracking 5 minutes ago. So how does he get on the dating site in the first place? Well, his friends tell him.
It's an app for your phone where two strangers can hook up for a dirty liaison.
Just two horny people with phones.
So you hit him on the head with your phone and knock him out?
Just swipe someone's picture, they come over, and you plow them.
I gotta try this.
Need I remind you, every one of his friends is a married man, yet they have some pretty intimate knowledge about Tinder's inner workings? I'm not even exaggerating. They straight up walk him through getting his first hookup.
There's hey, and then a kissy face, and then like a saucy smirking face. The hell is all this?
It means she likes you. Send something back.
Dearest Teresa, I so appreciated
No,
you.
stop. Just send her an eggplant and the erupting volcano.
Turns out Tinder's everything they promised in the fracking cartoon, at least. Pretty soon, Quagmire's at the girl's house.
Are you Courtney from Tinder?
You must be Glenn.
A lovely bouquet for a lovely...
Yeah, take off your pants and sit on the coffee table.
That was great. We could still make our reservation.
We already had...
Wait.
And with that, Quagmire goes on an absolute tear, banging every single woman Tinder has to offer. He hooked up with 7 women and 1 thing in that montage, so that's about 120 milliliters. By the end of it, our boy Glenn was looking far worse for wear than usual, and despite shame crying, it was too late to stop. Tinder had its hooks in him. By the time his friends find him, it's already too late.
Quagmire, come on, it's time for golf.
Smells kinda gamey in here.
Swipe, 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 swipe.
Let's get a little light in here, huh, buddy?
It burns my Tinder!
See, kids, this is what happens when you have too much. You turn into Gollum and start attracting people that look like this.
Glenn within 5 miles. I can take my glass eye out if you want to try something different.
Maybe she's the one.
Let's do it in the garage. We can do sweaters on, pants off.
His friends do him a solid and get rid of his phone, so Quagmire goes to the bar to drink his problems away. That's where he meets a regular non-Tinder woman and decides to get his groove back and do things the old-fashioned way. Manipulation.
I was just saying, I am upset about something. I buried my twin brother today. We used to finish each other's...
Sentences?
I just got chills. I just feel like my penis shouldn't be alone tonight. All right.
It's all nice and good for Quagmire, but there's one part of the story I skipped back when he was binging women on Tinder. This scene right here.
The night is easy, lost, somewhere we can.
I showed that scene in another video and said I have no idea how many could fit in there, so I'd have to guess. Much like this scene from the episode The Boys in the Band, Chris becomes Quagmire's personal assistant, and we see another visual representation of how many women Quagmire slept with.
Chris, could you please get Hannah a thank you basket? I'd like to see her again in 2 weeks.
Mr. Quagmire can fit in you at 3 o'clock a week from Thursday. And would you like to leave your panties in the fishbowl?
I just like smelling the bowl.
Now, I'm no mathematician, but apparently the last Ronin here is a math enthusiast. According to them, taking the surface tension, the size of an above-average sized bowl, and atmospheric pressure, that bowl should hold an estimated count of 500 condoms. Applying the same calculations for the bowl of panties, there should be around 75 to 100 of those frickers in that bowl. Thanks, the last Ronin. Couldn't have done this video without you. So between those two scenes, Quagmire's had with 600 women and used an incredible 2.3 gallons or 9,000 milliliters of lube. If you think my math's off, let me hear it in the comments. But I'm not going back to this topic. And that lube count has gotten a little bit ridiculous. We're looking at about 12,000 milliliters, 12 liters, aka as much fluid as 3 12 packs of Bud Light. Suppose that would be 3 12 packs of lube in this case. Okay, things have gotten a little bit out of hand, so let's reel it in a little bit. Talk about something more regular, like Quagmire's many random hookups. Start with another time Quagmire was ringing wedding bells. This time it was to a woman named Carrie, and he met her on Halloween.
Daughter's adorable.
She's not my daughter, she's my niece. My name's Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. My name is Glenn.
Nice talking to you, Glenn.
Quagmire asks her out off screen, they start going out, and that's where we learn one crucial thing about Carrie. She loves dogs.
Brings a dog to a coffee shop.
I love dogs.
Isn't he so sweet?
Yay, my hand smells like you now.
I don't think I could be with someone who doesn't love dogs.
Quagmire doesn't exactly love dogs himself, but he lies to her anyway and says that he owns one. Look, I'm just gonna cut to the chase here. We never see Quagmire actually have with Carrie, they just talk about it. So we're gonna have to use our imagination. Like in this next scene where he asks Brian to pretend to be his dog.
I'm seeing this woman, and I mean, it's not just that the is great, which it is. I told her I have a dog. Would you pretend to be my dog?
Guess they've had sex at least once at this point. Anyway, the plan works. Carrie thinks Quagmire's a stand-up guy with a dog and then continue dating.
Who is it?
It's the purge. One pizza with alternative crust.
Yummy, yummy. Alternative crust pizza is really good, Brian.
Came over to his house. Yeah, she's not leaving without at least one pounding, so I'm adding that to the count. Quagmire seemed like he was in a healthy, wealthy, happy relationship, a rare sight indeed. So of course, Brian decided to throw a wrench in it.
Huh?
Will you marry me? Of course I'll marry you.
Just know Quagmire didn't get any sleep that night, so yeah, that's another one for the count. Carrie moves in, and she moves in with her many, many rescue dogs, turning Quagmire's life into a complete mess. Glenn does his best to keep up appearances until he just can't take it anymore, and it happened during their engagement party as well.
Now we're headed down the aisle. A very different kind of walk. And Carrie, I would walk 500 miles.
That proves to be the final straw. Quagmire can't keep pretending anymore and ruins his engagement.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not okay. I've been lying to you. I hate dogs. That's my neighbor's dog. Brian, say something. Brack. Bite me.
You don't like dogs, that's fine. But you didn't have to lie. Goodbye, Glenn.
Carrie decides she's not gonna marry him, not because he doesn't like dogs, but because of the more cliche, you lied to me reason. Now we can finally stop using our imagination and talk about Quagmire's relationship with his one true love, Cheryl Teagues. So it's the episode Teagues for Two, and Brian just got his heart broken again, so he decides to go to a class taught by Quagmire of all people to learn how to get his girl. That predictably goes terribly, and Brian's not happy about it.
You're a son of a... You're teaching us all this crap. It's all a bunch of bull. You ruined my life.
This course is in getting laid, not finding love.
How will I get the woman of my dreams?
When you're ready. That one woman who's as amazingly perfect for me, Cheryl Teagues.
So we get introduced to Quagmire's one who got away. Before I continue though, how insane is it that Quagmire hangs a picture of his ex from decades ago? And I do mean decades. They dated back in the 80s when Quagmire looked pretty darn different.
The past few weeks have been amazing. I think I'm falling in love with you.
I feel the same way. I'm ready.
Was the style to just never groom yourself back in the 80s? Anyway, Quagmire ends up ruining the relationship and has been pining for her ever since. Back to the modern day, he makes fun of Brian some more for using the skills he taught him, so Brian decides to get some revenge.
Are you... Cheryl? What are you doing here?
I thought I'd just drop by and say hi. My new boyfriend, I guess, knows you.
Get your fat ass over here before I dump you.
I don't know, Quagmire kind of deserved that one. To be fair, he's got all of these things coming to him, but instead of just taking the L, Glenn decides to get his own revenge.
I'd like to treat the four of us to dinner.
Wait, who's the fourth?
My new girlfriend.
Hi, Brian. How are you?
He starts dating the woman Brian's been pining for. The absolute drama. They spend the rest of the night trading insults until it turns into a full-on brawl, ruining their chances with either woman.
Stop it, both of you. You obviously have no respect for either of us.
Now I'm glad you made me face away during...
But it looks like that's all you are. Boys.
Yeah, boy. Yay! I helped!
Wait!
Jillian!
I'll do anything, please!
Oh, I caught that one. Quagmire had Gillian. That's more for the count. The episode ends with Glenn and Brian making up and becoming best friends.
Would you mind giving me a lift home, buddy?
Just ignore that last part. That's how Quagmire shows us love. On a different note, though, I'm pretty sure Quagmire's the kind of guy to carry around lubricant waiting for his next opportunity to use it. That's why I'm going to count the time he had the random woman at the airport.
Oh, that was great.
I know you have a choice in airports, and I appreciate your choosing Quagmire. Exercise caution when standing up, as the contents of your panties may have shifted during coitus.
You can't even deny it. Quagmire is definitely always packing that lube. He's also the kind of guy that does stuff like this.
I got a plane to catch. Say, which gate is flight 209?
That flight left half an hour ago.
Oh my God, my friends are on that plane. They're all gonna die.
What?
And that's not the worst part. Here's the condom I said I put on. Aren't I just the worst?
Just terrible. Now here's another episode Quagmire did something terrible. Quagmire's mom. The episode starts off with Peter learning his first name is Justin because who gives about continuity? Season frackin' 13. Peter immediately embraces the Justin lifestyle and becomes a douchebag, complete with throwing parties in his house and inviting people much younger than him.
Hey Justin, I wanted to introduce you to Kira.
Kira! You totally rock for bringing those.
What the hell is going on?
Is that your mom?
No, I'm not his mom, you little bastard.
Of course, Quagmire shows up. He's a Justin at heart. After Lois breaks up at the party, he takes one of the young women home with him. What a shocker. Actually, no, this is the real shocker.
Sorry I can't drive you to work.
I'll just take the school bus. I'm in high school.
You said you were 23!
You said you love me.
I guess you got me there.
Quagmire doesn't even get 2 seconds to change his mind, starts celebrating sleeping with an underage girl before the police show up.
But we're following up on a tip. Did you have sex with this underage girl? I'm afraid you're under arrest for statutory rape.
Let me just send the pictures I took to all my friends.
Boom! We've got all the awesome evidence we need.
Always a joy to see Quagmire face the consequences of his actions, like the time he accidentally leaked his own tape. With all these women he slept with, it's a miracle his tape hasn't been leaked by now. Well, it was a miracle until this happened.
Quagmire, you hooked up!
Oh, no, wait. That's not all right. What if my boss sees this?
And you can't even see your face.
You did it again, Glenn Quagmire.
Tragically, Quagmire's suffering doesn't happen nearly as often as it should. He just gets away with stuff, like in the episode Island Adventure, where he convinces Lois to teach him techniques to sleep with middle-aged women.
Your blowout looks nice.
Oh, thanks.
I noticed a yoga mat in the back of your car. How often do you do yoga?
Of course, her tips work like magic, what with her being a middle-aged woman herself.
I almost suggested Mickey D's.
God. Are you talking about McDonald's?
Yeah, another thing I was just thinking about is Pinterest sure has some neat pictures of sinks.
What if we just bail on dinner and head back to my place?
So Quagmire goes off to have another woman. Side note, this woman is named Monica, and she's voiced by Rachel McFarland, Seth MacFarlane's sister, the guy who voices Quagmire. By the way, a few of the women Quagmire slept with in this show are voiced by his sister, just putting that out there. Anyway, Lois gets upset that he's using the trick she taught him to have multiple women. Quagmire don't really care, he just keeps doing it.
You want to listen to Ray LaMontagne? Great! See you, Lois!
Speaking of dating middle-aged women, in the episode From Russia with Love, he starts dating a woman named Stephanie, Lois's old bully.
Lois Pewterschmidt. You have aged infuriatingly well.
How did you two meet? Both escaped from the same cult? How do I get invited to one?
No, you just tell it.
Okay. Tinder. Didn't really need that whole parade.
Details of the relationship are ridiculously sparse, so I'm just gonna count that as 15 milliliters. Now, Quagmire might normally struggle to relate to women close to his age, but when it comes to picking up women way younger, he's somehow incredible at it. Like in the episode, Take My Wife. All the wives on Spooner Street are unhappy with their marriages, so they drag their husbands to couples retreats. Quagmire doesn't get to come, what with him being single and all, so he quickly bags himself a girlfriend.
Peter Griffin, all but separated.
Right on.
Suppose I could look into adding you two to the reservation.
You guys should definitely come. Gonna be awesome.
Relax, Peter.
Keep it in your pants, man. Good heavens. Obviously, I'm talking to Peter, because Quagmire has no intent of keeping it anywhere near his pants. Case in point.
Oh, hey, you guys.
I don't think you can go to dinner in your swimsuit. Yeah, I think you better change.
Hey, we'll be down in a minute.
I think it's fair to say he's had at least once so far. The next day, the group gathered for couples counseling, sharing their feelings with each other and all that fun stuff.
Please begin.
I feel unappreciated.
I feel a numbness radiating down my left arm.
You should help out more around the house.
I feel like my cervix hurts.
I feel pride.
If I have to explain to you why I'm adding this to the count, you're probably not old enough to be watching this fracking video. Moving on to the next random hookup, a girl with epilepsy. Her medical condition is actually relevant. So in the episode He's Black, Donna and Lois get into a fight and forbid their husbands from being friends. Cleveland and Peter resort to alternative ways of communicating. Tell me you've already guessed where the epilepsy thing comes in. Well, I bet you didn't guess this punchline. Incredibly tasteful joke, no notes. Now, I'm just gonna show you 3 random hookups because I know too much about Quagmire's life, more than my own at this point. There's the time he had at a child's birthday party.
There's the birthday girl. Oh, it's a condom. I'm gonna split my beautiful assistant in half. Won't be needing this.
Then there's him being the absolute worst kind of neighbor, or I suppose the best kind if you're into neighborhood drama.
Not doing that, Glenn!
Keep an open mind.
Sick man!
Hey, I don't want my neighbors seeing a fat old dirty.
Well, maybe I should come inside.
And then there's the episode where Stewie and Brian messed with the timeline and everything started going reverse.
Where does Quagmire meet these women?
Well, that leads up to what might be the worst thing Quagmire has ever done. Well, at least it's pretty high up there. In the episode Peter Griffin, Husband, Father, Brother, Stewie decides to learn the secrets of mind control. For some reason, he thinks high school cheerleaders possess that power. So he decides to replace the head cheerleader Cindy at the top of the pyramid, and to do that, he engages in some good old-fashioned kidnapping.
Cindy, I'd feel worse about this if you didn't spell your name with that insufferable I at the end. Cock-a-doodle smiley face you used to dot it. You sicken me! I'm not gonna hurt you.
Couldn't have tied her up somewhere nicer than the floor of a men's bathroom stall? Killing her would have been merciful at that point. Well, things quickly got worse for Cindy because she was found by the very last person you'd want finding you in a position like that.
Dear Diary, jackpot.
Regrettably, I must add that to the count. Let's get back to the really weird encounters Quagmire's gotten up to, aside from the just straight up evil ones. Nah, these are pretty evil. You know what that means? More animal stuff. Starting with the time he fricked a giraffe.
giraffity. Yeah, see, that's not mine.
Don't ask me the logistics of how he did it, but he did. And that's not even the weirdest one. This is.
I'm into a lot of different stuff. What, you hear something?
Nah, it's all good.
All right.
Probably thinking, how on earth did he fit in a turtle shell? That's impossible. Well, I have a theory. Theory. All the guy needed was an adequate amount of lubrication. According to the show's wiki, Quagmire is 5'8", so in order to cover him completely with a nice double coat, you need 2 liters or 2,000 milliliters of lubricant. Also, we could have to the fracking turtle. Next up, I'm going to do a quick rundown of every time Quagmire used a lube in the episode American Gigolo. That's the episode where Quagmire becomes a stripper completely unintentionally, might I add.
Cool, I got time. Hello, ladies.
Finally, the stripper's here!
I'm a pilot. This is a real uniform.
All right.
Turns out the money's good, so he decides to actually become a stripper. Obviously, he hides it from his friends for like 2 seconds before they catch on real quick.
This is tremendous. Are you banging all these chicks?
I am a dancer.
You were wondering if you'd have sex with her for $500.
I'm a gigolo.
So we begin the gigolo adventures of Captain Glenn Quagmire. His secret adventure, that is prostitution, is illegal, so we can't let Joe know.
Geez, I gotta go home and change into my Tarzan costume for the web.
I gotta get a computer.
Of course, turning tricks come with a few risks, like dealing with clients that aren't entirely cooperative. That's where the muscle comes in, or in this case, Peter.
One of my tricks drove me here from the clam, and I didn't have any money for a cab.
Didn't she just pay you for...
After it was over, she said she wasn't gonna pay.
You can't let these women take advantage of you like that. I'll go talk to her.
Unit 17.
Peter gets his money back, and then the two of them form a partnership, and so the gigolo adventure is back on the road. Yeah, it's like 2 women during that montage, but I'm sure he's been laying pipe all around town. At least that's what the show says.
Boy, I have a whole new respect for Hayden Panettiere. Giggity.
I'm pulling up. You ready?
Can't work tonight. I'm spent.
Gotta work. I set up 5 appointments. That's a lot of money.
Just gonna have to cancel them.
What the hell did you say to me?
I reckon it's been a couple days now, because Peter's turned into a pimp, complete with verbal and physical abuse.
You tripping, boy? You're going out if I tell you you're going out.
What's in your pimp cup?
Wheatgrass ginger mixture. Not great.
Obviously, Peter forced him to service those 5 other clients he had lined up, so that's 75 more milliliters of lube. From here, Quagmire's gigolo adventures get a little bit dark.
Lucky. He take care of you.
I'm making a lot of money. I'm actually very hungry.
Get up to that bar and earn your keep.
Only on Family Guy can we have lifelong buddies slapping each other over the course of like 2 scenes. Either way, Quagmire heads over to earn his keep.
You want a party? And can I have some of your bread?
You can have something of mine that smells like bread.
Okay, let's go.
It takes me a long time.
For reasons I hope I don't have to elaborate, I'm going to be doubling the dose of lubricant for that one. Things naturally progress from here, and Quagmire starts to work in the street corners.
Honey, you shopping for groceries? Shopping for groceries is what I say instead of do you want to pay me for...
I know I've accused Quagmire of using lube a lot, but this time for sure he's carrying lubricant in that tiny purse of his. Anyway, Quagmire's gigolo adventure comes to an end finally when he meets a client who isn't very big on consent.
She wants to do German things!
It's not gonna work! 9! Help us, pimps and hoes!
After going through something incredibly traumatic with Quagmire, Peter realizes maybe whoring out your friend is bad, actually.
Most of that was horrible. I'm sorry about all this. Guess I just assumed you were okay with
I
it.
think you're just mad I didn't come to see your Pretenders cover band.
The Pretenders are playing again this weekend. Can you find it in yourself to forgive me?
I'd like that.
And they all lived happily ever after. Quagmire went on quite the adventure in that one, but that's nothing compared to the episode Fighting Irish. Watch the count here, because it's about to go way up. It's time for Quagfest.
Quagfest.
What's that?
Glenn Quagmire's 1,000th conquest, celebrating the 3 Fs.
Well, 1,000 conquests.
A festival to celebrate debauchery. To be fair, that's far from the weirdest thing I've seen in this show.
Pay attention. These are all of Quagmire's women organized by country. There's Italy, and there's Thailand. Wow, they're young. We should go.
Often 999 times is gonna require a lot of lube. So that's 14,985 milliliters right there. At least. By the way, his 1,000th conquest wasn't much of a conquest, more like a quick trip to the market.
1,000th conquest is largemouth bass.
A dead fish is definitely gonna need a good bit of lubricant. I'm gonna triple the dose here and say he used 45 milliliters. So far, I've covered Quagmire sleeping with pretty much anyone he can get his mitts on, including his friends and his friends' wives. But there's one person I never mentioned. Someone Quagmire's actually in love with, Lois. I mean, sure, he's always wanted to sleep with her, but come on, who doesn't he want to sleep with? But it turns out his feelings towards Lois have been pretty intense. I mean, just look at what he's been hiding in his frickin' closet.
A couple of teeth and some toenail clippings, and we'll be ready for our date.
Psychotic as that is, I think it's pretty clear Quagmire wants to hit that. Just look at what he does in the episode Big Man on Hippocampus. In that episode, Peter loses his memory and breaks up with Lois because he doesn't remember their whole terrible marriage. And look who swoops right on in, ready to mac on Lois.
Oh my gosh!
What a surprise.
I know, right?
See, the crazy part is, his advances work. Lois, fully aware of the kind of dirtbag this man is, actually ends up in bed with him. The only thing that stops him from fulfilling his years-long dream of sleeping with his best friend's wife is sincerity? Honesty? Oh, wait, I know the word. Guilt.
It's at least nice to know I'm in the arms of a trusted friend.
Uh-oh.
Something wrong?
Damn it!
Then Peter bursts in and puts an end to the whole situation, but if this isn't enough to show that Quagmire loves this woman, well, he straight up admits it in the episode Hot Pocket Dial.
Mother always knows. You really wish you had a woman like Lois, don't you?
No, I don't want a woman like Lois. I want Lois. Warm and kind and beautiful.
You're talking about your best friend's wife.
You're probably wondering if Quagmire feels that way, why hasn't he made a move on her yet? I mean, it hasn't stopped him before, you know, Loretta. Not like her being married is a problem. Well, we actually have an answer to that, and we get into it in the episode of The Lois Quagmire. I have learned too much lore about this show since taking on this gig. Like, I've begun to start dreaming about it. It's become an actual problem. The episode starts with Lois getting a fancy invitation to her high school reunion. Turns out she went to the Fansington Academy for Insufferable Girls. Because she's married to a slobbish elf of a man, she decides to take the local criminal instead. It actually goes well. The women love him.
You have the breasts of an obese woman, arms of an anorexic.
The whole time we're expecting Quagmire to make a move. Hell, even Lois is expecting him to make a move. Instead,
I want you. Meet the cocktail waitress I'm about to sleep with.
I remember you.
Lois is disappointed. Not because she wanted to sleep with Quagmire, or so she claims, but because she wanted to feel desirable. I guess when it comes to Lois, Quagmire even has some tiny shred of loyalty.
You make me feel like my best years are behind me.
I didn't make a move on you because you're my best friend's wife.
That is true.
I'm not a one-gal guy. I was with Jenna for only 4 hours, and I cheated on her with a woman who was fixing the ice machine.
Apparently, he had 2 women last night. Guess that's another 15. Now, why am I telling you all this? Simple. To set the stage for why Quagmire does what he does in the episode, Meet the Quagmires. In that episode, Peter travels back in time to when he was still dating Lois so he could live out being 18 again. First thing he does, blows off his future wife.
I'm really looking forward to the movie tonight.
Tonight I got plans with Cleveland.
We had a date.
This, of course, changes the timeline. When Peter gets back to the future, guess who Lois ended up with instead?
Lois, what the hell? I'm gone for one night and you sleep with Quagmire?
What I do with my husband is none of your business.
Hope you and Molly can still join us for dinner tonight. Let's go play schoolgirl and guy who has with schoolgirl.
Brian, what the hell is going on?
As we can see, once Peter leaves the picture, the first person she'll go to is Quagmire. Speaking of, Glenn might be married now, but he's still putting that lube to good use, and he spawned a few kids while he was at it.
Meg, stop staring at Mr. Griffin. I'm afraid she's got a father's libido.
Hey, I'm a vegetarian. Oh!
Peter is absolutely devastated, but he kind of deserves it. And Lois is very happily married. She's getting a lot of action as well.
Hey, Lois, I'm ready for your pie, and you made dessert, too. Oh!
Let's go upstairs and do it.
Okay!
Twice in one day. Now that's what you'd expect from Quagmire. Obviously, the episode ends with Peter fixing his mistake and getting his family back, but let's take a second to calculate just how much lubricant Quagmire must have used during the years he dated and married Lois. So she was 18 when he met her, and she's 43 in the future. So that's 25 years of constant smashing, probably twice a day, probably every day. To make the calculation more accurate, I'll factor in the days he spends away from home at his job as a pilot. The typical commercial pilot can expect to spend around 12 days a month away from home. Over 25 years, that's 3,600 days. That leaves 9,125 days at home with Lois, doing it twice a day. And because he likes to keep it lubed up, we're looking at 273,750 milliliters of lube. Before I reveal the grand total for the video, I want to take one more step back. 273,750 milliliters for this section alone. You know how the human mind can't really conceive how big numbers actually are? Can you actually vividly picture picture in your mind just how much lube that is? Not that you'd want to imagine it, but like, could you? If you tried. Because I sure as hell can't. And we haven't even talked about the grand total yet. When you add it all up, we've got 303,320 milliliters, or 303.32 liters. That's a little bit over 3 entire oil drums worth of lubricant. I got curious, I looked it up. How do you even survive all that? You know what? As wild as that isn't even the craziest thing I've covered on this channel. It's close. It's up there. It's in like the top 3, but not the craziest thing. Click the link on screen to see what other characters are truly capable of. I'm gonna go take a shower. Thanks for watching.